Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Madam DA, for inviting us. I am Kurt Erskine. I'm the acting United States Attorney. I'm joined today by Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Philip Whistler, who is here from the FBI. We are here in a supportive capacity to stand side by side with our state, local law enforcement partners. The United States Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Georgia and the FBI are assisting Atlanta Police Department and the Fulton County District Attorney's Office with the investigation, and we stand here with them. We have pledged to assist in any way that would be helpful to their investigation or would further their work. And so we remain supporting and committed to that support. We pledge the assistance to APD and District Attorney Wilkes in this capacity and stand ready to lend our collective federal resources to bring to justice whoever perpetrated this terrible murder. Thank you.
We believed it was important to come forward today to make sure that the public knew that we were united. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Atlanta Police Department, the Fulton County Sheriff, the United States Attorney, and the FBI regarding this horrible murder of Catherine Jennings at Piedmont Park on July 27th. Metro Atlanta is understandably concerned. The United States Attorney and myself have talked about how many calls we have gotten from the public about this case and how concerned and frightened people are. We've also talked about the distraction of unnecessary rumors. But as leaders in the community who work to make all of us as safe as possible, we have heard from these people, and we know that this is an important crime and that the public is watching and waiting. My colleagues and I are here to just let the public know that it is not a crime that is going unnoticed. It is a crime that we are collectively putting our resources in and working together to solve. One reason that I thought that it was so important that Sheriff Labatt come here today to tell you some of the general efforts that he was doing is because those cars that we've heard about and that people kind of laughed about him putting on the street, those cars have helped to enable to make sure that there is more security and safety around not just Piedmont Park, but all of our parks. And as soon as I called him and said this was a concern and discussed with him what I was hearing from the public, he immediately did that. Those types of collaborations have not happened in the past, and it is important that our leaders are willing to do that when they are called upon. We are here today, though, to ask the public to put some safety measures of their own in place to make sure that they do things that move safely, like go out in public with several people with you when you're going to the park. I love Piedmont Park as well, but at this time we're asking that you go with 3 or 4 friends when you're there, and that you're not alone at night, and that we just make sure that we all take safe precautions. We're here because we would like to address any questions that we can answer and that will not interfere with the investigation. As you know, my office will ultimately be responsible for prosecuting it, and so we don't want to do anything today that would interfere with the investigation, but we do want to send a strong message to the public that the federal government, the local government, to be the city and the county, are all working together to support efforts to make sure that this crime is solved. Thank you.
There are many murders in Fulton County and the city of Atlanta. Why this one? Why does this get this type of resources and all these agencies coming together? Can you explain that?
You're correct. In every murder, in every case, requires different resources. Some cases require expert witnesses where the office has to go out and hire experts to come in. Some cases we look at and we instantly know that there are expertises and resources that the federal government has, and so we call upon them to help. But every case is treated very seriously, and this case, because there had not been a murder in Piedmont Park so long, because it is a public treasure, because of this is as I heard Chief Bryant say at his thing, a town where shootings are here, and this involved a different measure. We thought that it was necessary, and so what we're doing, what is necessary to solve this case.
Yeah, could you explain what threshold this case met to invite the FBI in so early on? Why the FBI did soon?
I think that sometimes you go out, so every case in Atlanta, so that we're clear, when there is a homicide in Atlanta, my office reports to that case immediately. That night, that morning, whatever time of day it happens, we send a trained investigator from Mr. Carlson's unit and a lawyer there. And so APD in Fulton County, we regularly work together. We stay out of their way, but we are always a resource for questions for them. Sometimes when I have questions, though, it's not the smartest thing to think that you know everything. We know that maybe the feds will have the kind of answers we need. In this case, we thought from the beginning, and APD wisely thought from the beginning, that it would be important to get some of the resources of the federal government to look into this case, and so that's why.
I know it may be premature, but if you can, shed light on what kind of charges, to your knowledge, this case would warrant. Are we looking at a potential capital murder case? If you can shed light on how serious the breadth of the charges are.
I'm not going to go into additional charges. I mean, obviously, this would be a malice murder case and aggravated assault just based on the actions, but every charge we won't know until an investigation is complete. So it is much too early to say that.
Is there anything new you're able to tell us about the investigation? Anything police are looking for specifically, that your office is looking at specifically? Anything that we could tell the public about what to be aware of?
What we would ask that you take from today to tell the public is to behave in a way that is safe. That is really the message that we want. We want them to have confidence that all of these agencies have come together so that we can work to solve this particular crime. But we also want them to just take safe measures, and we want them to understand that this case is a priority.
I can only imagine how many calls and questions the public has brought to you guys. What have been some of the conversations, some of the concerns that you've heard of?
Well, of course, we've all heard this rumor of a serial killer in the loose in Atlanta, and other cases from other jurisdictions that neighbored us, that these were connected. We have no evidence of that at this point, but that has been one of the concerns because of the particular community that surrounds the Piedmont property. There have been questions of, is this a hate crime? And it is really too early to answer those calls. But we certainly every law enforcement agency up here are hearing those kind of calls. And we hear the fear in a community that is usually safe.
Are you also hearing, I've been out there quite a bit, I've heard a lot of people question whether the park is safe, whether there's enough security enhancements out there, i.e. lighting, more police presence, and operational cameras. Are you hearing anything along those lines?
Well, what I can tell you is that is one of the reasons I thought it was important that the public hear that not only has Atlanta Police Department put patrols out there, but the Fulton County Sheriff's Office also has cars out there. So we are taking additional safety measures to make sure the park is safe.